Today I'm going to talk about these beautiful little shipibo gourd shakers and fixing them. So I bought this one purposefully with a small break in it. You can see there's an indentation. So what I did to begin with, there's like glue on the bottom here and glue on the top with the feathers and the string as well. So what I did was got a small knife and I cut around the bottom of the gourd here, just poking in gently. These gourds are very fragile, so you need to be particularly careful with them. And then I also used the small knife to cut around the top here also, and then I gently undid the string that was holding it all together. And then I put them all in a nice safe little box here. Also the feathers and the string, put them all together to keep them safe. This is very good as it's kind of windy where I'm working. So the next thing I did, I couldn't find anything online, so I presumed that wetting the gourd. So I got a small knife first and I stuck it in the hole. And let's see. So I just had a small knife like this and I was basically just sticking it in the hole here and forcing it, and it felt like it could snap. So what I've done now, I just let it rest in some water for approximately 2 hours, something like this, and the break has almost formed itself out. So the next thing I'm going to do is, working into the big hole, I'm going to actually use the stick here that I already have. I'm going to use the end that's slightly rounded. I'm just going to try and push these two parts of the gourd together, and we'll see what happens. It feels extremely precious. I really don't want to hurt it. See, now that it's swollen out, it's actually growing a little. So now I'm wondering if I actually need to allow it to dry again. And as it's drying, try and manipulate it back in a little bit. So I'm going to see how that goes. And basically what I bought was just some I just bought some basic super glue to mend this with, because I feel like it's going to need something quite fast setting to hold this together. So I went for super glue. Normally on wood it's good to have something that can expand and contract, but we're going to see how that does. Oh, and here's the beautiful little beads that came out. I was wondering what would be inside. And they're little glass beads. I'm also going to be curing a snake skin here as well. So here's the snake skin as it is now. And it's a small rattlesnake, a Guatemalan rattlesnake. And so far I've salted it. I left it in a bag with salt here. And that was for a couple of weeks. It wasn't necessary for a couple of weeks, but this is what happened. And it came out, and pretty much after gutting it, I left the whole thing, I left the skin whole and extracted the middle out. And then I've taken the salt out and cleaned the skin a little bit and returned it inside out. And I was afraid that the scales might have snagged up a little bit, but they seem okay. So I'm going to be attaching that actually onto the shaker. And I wanted this kind of shaker. And the one that I actually found has the snake actually carved into it as well. Unfortunately, I didn't have a ton of money, and this one was the one available in the shop, and because it had a crack in it, I got it for a really good price. Okay, so I just found the little trick that you need to do here. So the crack is kind of vertical, going across ways there. Just here you can see. And so what I've done is wet it just around the point of break, and then by putting pressure like this, it's opening up that little gap slightly, yeah? And then what I can do is get this little stick. So I'm actually using the shaker handle here, and I'm putting pressure from the bottom and from the top, and then just gently prying here with this wooden handle, and it's actually pushed the gourd back into its own original shape, which is amazing. So I'm going to continue with this off video and then put some glue in there, and we'll see how we do with that. Okay, so now I'm gluing, and what I'm doing is with the super glue, and then I'm just applying that pressure again to gently open up so it's gone back to its original shape. And now I'm just using this super glue to gently work into the cracks there. And I'm just wiping that off with a bit of tissue. I'm not sure how good this finish will be, but I think I'll be able to clean it up once it's, you see with the knife, I think once it's dried, I'll be able to just clean it up a little bit anyway. These gourds, as you can see, it's quite rough anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about scraping the actual gourd, but I would like it not to have like a load of glue on the front of it, you know. And now I've put the feathers back in, and I'm winding back this little cotton thread here. And so there we have it. Can you see the repair? Just a little snag. Good luck, and yeah, persevere, go gentle. Now for tanning the snake skin, I have here some alcohol I got from the chemist here in Mexico, and glycerine. So I'm going to make a 50-50 mix, pop it in a little glass, and cure it for 3 to 7 days. This is the final part of the video. I I've actually taken the snake skin now after I cured it for 3 days in the glycerin and alcohol, and then I took it out and I just let it soak. I took it out, washed it with some water, and I let it soak in some glycerin for a little bit. And then what I did, originally I put the whole skin on here, but it didn't really fit too nice. It wasn't very cool. So I just left one segment going around here. And as you can see with the rest of the skin here, I had no real plan. I was just kind of experimenting and seeing kind of what happened, what the snake wanted, you know. But I'm kind of happy with how this turned out. So here you can see the snake's head, and this is the skin from the neck of the snake. This is a rattlesnake, a Guatemalan rattlesnake. So yeah, you can see, and then in some parts we have the skin, and some parts not. It's a really beautiful skin. So I just kind of persevered. You can see here, you know, I haven't made an amazing job of it, but I'm pretty happy with it as an experiment. You can see it's matched up a little bit here, and the final little bit of snake skin on the tail there. Yeah, so it's a fun little experiment, and yeah, if you find any snakes squashed on the road, maybe you want to experiment a little bit and make something beautiful with it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and we'll see what more kind of unusual things I'll be playing with in the future. So much love. Goodbye.